So how well do you really know Finland? I mean, beyond the usual stuff, the saunas and maybe the stoicism, because here's a place that's always, or nearly always, topping those happiest country lists, which is pretty fascinating when you think about, those famously long, dark winters.
It does make you wonder, yeah. What's the secret sauce there?
Exactly. And that's what we're diving into today. We've got some great source material from you, our listener, a video transcript from Trip Insight, and a neat text overview called Finland.
Right.
And our mission, really, is to get past the cliches, uncover what makes Finland tick its connection with nature, which sounds incredible, its history, its culture.
Sort of find those aha moments.
Yes, exactly, the things that stick, not just a list of facts. I'm really looking forward to exploring this one.
Me too. It's a country that definitely pulls you in. And when you think Finland, that image of nature, it just comes straight to mind, doesn't it? And, well, for good reason.
Oh, yeah. That phrase, land of 1,000 lakes. Everyone knows that one.
It's iconic.
But, okay, get ready for this number because it's kind of wild. Our sources say it's not 1,000. It's closer to 188,000 lakes.
Wow. 188,000.
Yeah, that's nearly 10% of the whole country covered in water. And what's really interesting is how that shapes everything,
Oh, absolutely. I mean, just think historically, how would that vast network of water affect where people settled? It wasn't just drinking water, it was transport, highways, basically, before roads.
Right, and fishing, obviously.
A huge food source, yeah. It gets woven into the culture, into folklore, everything. It's really fundamental to being Finnish, I think.
And we're not talking small ponds either. The sources mention specific areas like the Finnish lakeland in the middle of the country, described as this maze of crystal clear lakes and thick forests.
You can just picture it, can't you? And the quiet, the reflections.
Totally.
And the clarity often tells you something, doesn't it? About how healthy the environment is. These aren't, murky ponds. They're often incredibly pure.
Like Lake Patrice-Gabrielle. I saw that mentioned.
Exactly. Lake Patrice-Gabrielle in the east, known for unbelievable water clarity. We're talking what? 6 to 10 meters visibility?
That's amazing. Most lakes you're lucky to see a meter down.
Right. It's often about low algae levels, not much suspended stuff in the water. Then you've got the giant Lake Saimaa.
Oh, yes, the big one.
Biggest in Finland, fourth largest natural lake in Europe. Just imagine the sheer size of it, and apparently thousands of islands breaking it up into these complex waterways. It's like a whole world within the lake.
Sounds incredible. And then there are these smaller, almost hidden spots mentioned. Gulan Harju in Asikala.
Yeah.
This 8-kilometer ridge.
Yeah, like a natural causeway almost, with bridges connecting bits.
Offering amazing views, apparently. Makes you wonder how these things even form.
Well, that's geology, isn't it? Glaciers leaving behind these ridges, these eskers, they give you these great high viewpoints. It really shows the power of nature shaping the land over, millennia.
Like an underwater viewing platform almost, with that Kurvasi clarity.
Yeah, pretty much. And if you want to drive through the scenery, they mention the Järvi-Suomi Scenic Road in the Saimaa region.
Sounds perfect. Roads winding right between the lakes. Designed to make you slow down, I guess.
Take it all in.
Okay, so land of many thousands of lakes is definitely more accurate. But Finland's got more than just lakes, right? Let's head north. Lapland. It has this mystique about it.
It really does. Lapland is where nature feels, really powerful. And historically, it's the homeland of the Sami people. Rich culture going way back.
Important context.
And you also have to remember the more recent history, being under Swedish rule, then Russian rule, before Finland got independence in 1917. All those layers add to its unique feel.
Definitely. And the sources, they really paint a picture of those Arctic winters, like up to 200 days of icy conditions since World War II.
Yeah, sounds intense, doesn't it? But it's become this huge tourist draw. It's funny how somewhere that sounds so harsh can be so appealing.
It really is.
It taps into that fascination with extremes, maybe. And beauty, of course. Look at Rovaniemi, right on the Arctic Circle. It's the official home of Santa Claus, capital of Lapland. It fully embraces where it is.
The Santa Claus Village, right?
And the experiences they talk about, temperatures down to minus 40 Celsius, chasing the northern lights on a snowmobile, maybe?
Or staying in one of those glass roof cabins they mentioned.
Exactly. That contrast, freezing cold outside, cozy inside, watching the aurora. That's pretty compelling.
Genius idea, those cabins. Then the sources also talk about Rovaniemi having this peaceful, unhurried pace of life, which feels like a weird contrast to the Santa hype and the extreme cold.
Yeah, it is an interesting mix. Maybe life up there just forces a different rhythm,
Right.
More adaptable, different sense of time, perhaps.
Could be.
Then you've got Levi, Finland's biggest ski resort, apparently.
Yeah.
Lots of slopes, lifts.
Popular spot.
Yeah, but not just for skiing.
Yeah.
Because it's so far north, it's another top place for aurora viewing. And they mention high-end wellness services too, so adventure and relaxation.
And Sarasalke, tiny place, only 350 people, but a major tourist hub.
Right. In Inari Lapland, shows the pull of that region. It's near the Ivalo airport, which helps. And it's big for husky sledding, reindeer rides, that kind of thing. In the Urho Kekkonen National Park.
The classic Lapland stuff.
Exactly. The Trip Insight video mentioned a big jump in tourism there in 2017, like 22%. So it's definitely getting more popular.
Why do you think that is? Just more awareness?
Probably a mix of things. Social media showing it off, people wanting unique experiences, maybe escaping the everyday, even small details, like the description of the Vantanjoki River near Rovaniemi in winter.
Oh, yeah.
Snow everywhere, but the river, water, this deep, rich color flowing through it. And a bridge with this amazing view of the current. It paints a picture, doesn't it?
It really does, that raw beauty. And then there's Koroama Canyon. That sounds dramatic.
Yeah, on the border of Posio and Ranua, 30 kilometers long, deep, rugged, ancient rock, like looking back into Earth's history.
What makes a canyon like that? Glaciers?
Yeah, primarily glaciers carving through that ancient bedrock over huge amounts of time really shows the geological forces.
Okay, let's shift south a bit. The Åland Archipelago. Totally different vibe, right? Coastal.
Completely different. Something like 6,500 islands, surprisingly mild weather for how far north it is, and a long maritime history given its spot between Sweden and Finland.
6,500, wow. And Mariehamn, the capital, all linked by bridges. Sounds very connected to the sea.
Definitely. Then you have Naantali, southwest Finland. The sources call it the ultimate summer spot. Even the Finnish president vacations there, apparently.
High praise. What makes it special, do you think?
Well, often these coastal towns just have a different feel, don't they? Maybe a slower pace, sea air, and the fact it becomes an ice skating place in winter shows how Finns embrace all seasons.
True. Adapting.
Yeah.
And Kalliopi, near the Gulf of Bothnia, famous for sand dunes in Finland.
Yeah, surprising, isn't it? Big sandy beaches, challenges that rocky forest image.
How do you get dunes that far north?
Probably old sea levels, sediment carried by currents, wind action over time, something like that. The sunsets there are meant to be amazing. And it's got history going back to the 1500s plus modern industry. So it's got layers.
Okay, so the nature is incredibly varied. Lakes, Arctic North, coastlines, even dunes. Amazing.
Yeah.
But let's switch gears to the human side. The history and architecture, starting back in Helsinki.
Right, Helsinki. Great example of old meets new.
Yeah.
Got Senate Square, right? Dominated by the Helsinki Cathedral. Neoclassical, Carl Ludwig Engel design.
That big white one with the green dome. Looks like a lighthouse almost.
Exactly. Instantly recognizable. Built to honor Finnish figures originally, now gets, what, over 350,000 visitors a year? Big draw. And the views from up there must be fantastic. See the whole city layout?
I bet. And then, not far away, the Uspensky Cathedral. Totally different look.
Oh, yeah. Orthodox. That striking red brick, the jade green spires, very Russian architectural style, a clear reminder of Finland's history with Russia.
And the name means Feast of the Assumption. Adds another layer. Largest Orthodox church in Western Europe, apparently.
Is it real significance? Yeah. Reflects that complex past. Then, moving into the 20th century, the Helsinki Parliament building.
Oh, yes. Johann Siegfried Siren design. Completed early 1930s. The source called it a dramatic soprano narrating tales of power.
Ah, evocative description. Suggests it really embodies Finnish democracy, the weight of it all.
It sounds grand, but functional too. 5 floors, marble stairs, even one of those old paternoster elevators. You can imagine important decisions being made in the main hall or the session hall.
Definitely. Okay, moving just outside the city center, Suomenlinna Sea Fortress has to be mentioned.
Absolutely. UNESCO site, spread over islands, such a strategic spot, historically controlled by Sweden, then Russia, then Finland.
And renaming it Suomenlinna after independence in 1917, that's a powerful symbol. What's really cool is that it's not just ruins, people live there.
Right, about 900 residents and hundreds work there year-round.
Exactly. It makes it a living historical site, not just a museum you walk through. Much more engaging.
Totally brings it to life. Okay, heading inland now. Olavinlinna Castle in Savonlinna.
Beautiful location, right on Lake Sama. Built way back in the 15th century. Medieval fortress.
And now it hosts events, performances.
Yeah, great way to keep history relevant, use these amazing old places for culture today. Shows a real commitment to that.
And then there's Turku. Finland's oldest city.
Way back to the 13th century. It was the capital for ages, even after a huge fire in the 1800s. Still really proud of its history, kind of the traditional gateway to Finland from the west.
And it has Turku Castle, dating from around 1280, been a fortress, royal home, admin center. Must have seen a lot.
Imagine the stories those walls could tell. And Turku Cathedral, consecrated in 1300, the mother church for the Lutheran Church of Finland, a national shrine. These places are central to the Finnish story.
You feel the weight of history just hearing about them.
They really connect you to how the country evolved, politically, religiously. Oh, and we shouldn't forget Old Porvoo.
All right, east of Helsinki. Sounds charming.
Right. Those old wooden buildings, 18th, 19th century, well preserved. The warehouses along the river, originally for spices and wine, gives it such a distinct atmosphere. And now it's full of artists, galleries, lively place.
Like stepping back in time a bit. And finally, Old Vasa.
Yeah.
That story's interesting. Destroyed by fire, rebuilt closer to the sea.
Yeah, mid-19th century. Strategic move, founded way back in 1606 by a Swedish king, was even the temporary capital once. Now it's a key port, lots of industry, but also culture. A story of resilience, really.
Definitely. Okay, so we've covered this incredible nature, the deep history in the buildings. What about modern Finland? What stands out today?
Well, one really striking thing is the commitment to progress. For example, Finland was the very first country back in 2010 to make broadband internet access a legal right.
A legal right?
Yeah, a minimum speed for every single household. It shows this really forward-thinking view on digital access, connecting everyone.
That's pretty amazing. Says a lot about their priorities. And for design fans, Helsinki's design district gets a mention, showcasing Finnish innovation.
Right, design is big there. And the sources also flag Finland's commitment to environmental sustainability, which makes sense given how tied they are to their landscape.
It fits, doesn't it? You got that little hint of food too, salmon soup, reindeer meat in Helsinki's market square. A taste of the culture.
Gives you a flavor. So for you, our listener, taking all this in, it's clear this deep dive gives you more than just the basics, right? It's a shortcut to understanding Finland's different sides. Surprising facts, a real feel for the place.
Yeah, beyond the postcards.
Exactly. And what's really fascinating, I think, is seeing how Finland blends its history, those Swedish and Russian influences, with this strong sense of national identity now, and these really progressive modern policies. It's created something quite unique.
It really seems that way. So, maybe the final thought for you listening is, what part of Finland grabs you the most? Is it the amazing peaceful nature, the layers of history you can almost touch? Or maybe that innovative modern side? Perhaps let that guide where you look next if you want to learn more.
Good way to think about it.
Well, thanks for joining us on this deep dive into Finland.